So this episode is kind of both the turning point of the series and also one of my most controversial episodes, I guess you could say. I'd made a couple of Naruto references before this, mostly just adding no jutsu to the end of somebody's attack, which some people took some exception to if they weren't Naruto fans, but to me that was hardly even a reference. That's just the way I talk, because I'll be driving down the street with my girlfriend and we'll say, oh no, let's not turn here, let's just go a little further and do a U-turn no jutsu. But near the end of this episode, just about a third of the episode is dedicated to one long Naruto reference. So it was a real love it or hate it type thing. At the same time, this was kind of my big break because the fact that I could honestly put Naruto, Sasuke, Sakura into the search tags meant that this episode showed up as a related video to Naruto the Abridged series, so it brought a lot of viewers in. Right here, Guts talks about something that happened 4 episodes ago, and he refers to it in episodes. I was kind of unsure for a little while about how much the characters should know and how much they should be able to break the fourth wall, and what I decided was that all the characters know that they're in an anime and that it follows the genre conventions of action anime, but only Zod, Phil, and the other demons know that they're in an abridged series and can actually talk and interact with me as the creator. And I did that because there were 1 or 2 gags in both Naruto and in Yu-Gi-Oh! The Abridged series in which they just totally bust the fourth wall wide open, and the Yu-Gi-Oh! Characters would actually refer to Little Karibo and Yu-Gi-Oh! The Abridged series. Masako and Vegeta would actually directly address the audience and the characters. I never really liked that. It always seemed to kind of get in the way, so I didn't want to do that. But here we're coming up a little farther on that, closer to that Naruto reference. And I knew that this episode had so much action in it. And so there was dialogue, but Zod's lips never actually move when he's in his demon form. And it seemed like it'd be a little cheesy for me to, dub over when there's no lip flaps to sync. So what I wanted to do was, have just a static background and still images illustrating what Zod was talking about with his little prophecy. And when I decided to do that, it reminded me of the little illustrations that you'll sometimes get in Naruto when Sakura or whoever is explaining about chakra powers. So the logical thing to do seemed to be to put some Naruto music in the background and do a big long reference like that. So I think it worked out well. I think that the comparison is reasonably apt. A lot of people kind of got pissed that they thought that, oh, no, you're saying that Berserk is a Naruto ripoff. Like, no, hold on, back up. Don't put words in my mouth. I said they're similar. Half of it's just that all action anime follow a certain formula to a greater or lesser extent, and the other half is probably just simple coincidence, but I thought they had enough similarities that it was worth a joke. So that's all that is. And actually, speaking of Zod's little prophecy here and how he seems to know what's going to happen later on in the series, I kind of had an explanation for that, which I forgot to add into the actual dialogue of the episode. I was going to explain that by saying that he'd read ahead in the manga, and that's how he knows everything that's going to happen. And then I just couldn't figure out a way to work that into the conversation naturally. But I love that idea that any character in the show, if they wanted to, could read the manga and know the future, and that most of them didn't just because they're too lazy and don't feel like reading. So I did wind up recycling that idea later on in the episode. And I also had this idea early on with Zod. He became a lot angrier later on, and here he's kind of more like that annoying, pathetic friend that you have who's just so happy to have somebody to hang out with. That idea kind of fell by the wayside later on. Oops, out of time. See you next time.